Watching the 2023-24 SCAC Women's Basketball Media Days. Today we're taking a look at the Trinity University Women's Basketball Program. The Tigers head into the season under the guidance once again from head coach Cameron Hill, along with leadership from senior Ava Limonciello. Coach, Ava, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
Good to be here, Russell.
Coach, I want to start. I feel oftentimes I ask student athletes about the reset after a long season and kind of what that looks like. But, you know, for a coach, you're right there step by step of the way. And the last couple of seasons been lucky enough to make some deep runs. And I'm sure those are emotional when they come to an end. You go through it with this group, you get to the mountaintop, and then you've got to reset as a head coach. What does that reset look like for you? How do you kind of process that to get prepared for a new season?
It's a really good question, Russell. I think for me, the biggest thing is, every single year, regardless of when it ends, it feels like you're crashing into a brick wall. It's just like you put so much into it, and, you know, credit to the Division III model. And I know it's been adjusted a little bit recently, but to have a little runway as the year starts for the players to get comfortable being students here, and then have that same, you know, descent when the season ends, and have a little school left so they can be social and enjoy college, all that stuff. Those are incredible opportunities that the Division III model creates for us. But once you start the season, man, it's like you put the gas pedal to the floor and you don't pull it back at all. And when it's over, it's tough. And, you know, the work that we do together is very meaningful in our program. The relationships that are built throughout this process are very meaningful. So it's never easy. It's always emotional. And, you know, there is excitement that begins to percolate a little bit down the road once you kind of digest what you've accomplished and reflect, and obviously are grateful for what a great opportunity it is to do what we do. You know, but there's definitely a period where you have to get through it, and then you start to see what's on the horizon. And for us over the last several years, that's always been a really, really beautiful thing to focus on. So again, good question.
Ava, this program welcomes you back to the floor in a sense, coming off an injury that kept you out a season ago. Just want to ask how you are, how's your health, how excited are you to be back with this group and to get to, you know, be a part of a new season heading into your senior year?
Yeah, like you said, I'm super excited for this. Obviously, you know, being injured or being sidelined for a year, no athlete kind of wants to go through that. But there's two ways you can, you know, evolve from that. You can either hang your head and not learn from it, or take a step back and reevaluate how you kind of look at the game. And for me last year, I was able to, you know, gain a different perspective as a player through, I guess you could say, the coaching side of it, and taking what I learned last year, watching all of our games and implementing that into this year's program. I feel good. I feel healthy. I'm ready, you know, to start playing games and start the season off on a good note.
Coach, you talk about the gas being down. I'm sure in some respects it's hard to believe, but it's game week and it's about ready to get started. How has preseason unfolded with this group? What have you seen that encourages you from this team? And, you know, a little bit different with the model, as you talked about some additional practice time with this group ahead of that October 15th date. Were you able to take advantage of that? And how did that maybe shifted all your process going into a new season?
Yeah, we kind of looked at if you've ever been to a Trinity practice, you know that there's no way we would have made it to the first game if we'd have tried to practice starting in August. It's too competitive. They get tired of playing against each other. So we chose to utilize that time as individual workouts. And we had small groups that came in. And essentially, man, the theory for me was we're going to be able to do better work if our instruments are sharper. So we wanted to just sharpen every single player, try to get them a little bit better, and then apply that math to the collective. If we can take each player, get 2% better with 14 players, then boom, we're 28% better coming into the season, and apply that to getting off to a good start once we started working together as a group. You know, it's been incredible. We've only played one other team. We had a scrimmage that went really well for us. And, you know, the credit that they deserve in terms of the focus that they bring to practice every day, it's awesome for us to plan and to have ideas about what we want to do, but without them actually doing it and bringing it to life, it really is meaningless work. So I'm just every single day grateful for the players we have in the program and the job that they do, you know, press and play on what we think is a pretty good blueprint.
Ava, offensively, this team continues to produce at a high level, once again leading the SCAC in terms of points per game a season ago, 84.6 points per contest. This team is now led the league 3 straight years offensively. It's only been done by one other program, and Trinity's now done it twice now having led the SCAC in 6 of the last 7. That's never been done. How do you continue that offensive prowess? What does this team do offensively that makes it so difficult on your opponents, especially from the defensive end?
Yeah, I think just being a part of a program that, from 1 to 14, we're able to play many different positions, whether you're the 5 position or the 1 position. We have, posts who can get outside the 3-point line and shoot. We have, smaller guards who can get in the post and post up. But I think for us, our offense comes from our defense. We're very defensive heavily as a team. Everyone talks about our press, and that's really where our offense starts generating from. We get steals in the press, we get stops in the press, and that leads to, our transition offense or our quarter court offense. And I think this year it's special because we have such, value between all of us, and we're able to, shoot the ball, drive the ball, and all those different aspects. But I think for us, it comes from our defense leading to our offense.
Coach, looking at this roster, just by virtue of what college basketball is, you graduate 5 of your top 7 scorers from a season ago. So it's a different looking group coming into the year. And I know, I'm sure as a coach, it's nice to have a veteran group, but you've been able to make that transition successfully and proven over time. As a coach, how does that kind of get you excited? Some new challenges, finding some new roles for some women that are going to step into bigger shoes. How has that transition gone, and how excited are you with those new challenges going into the year?
I think the thing that doesn't get mentioned often enough when you lose a talented group of players is that the team practiced with them every single day. So their training partners were, that group you mentioned. And when that's the case, and you take practice seriously every day, and you worry about the big stuff and don't sweat the small stuff, like, you just get better. And it's not even like a passing of the torch. It's more like it's the appropriate evolution for these players to step into this opportunity now, because they've been prepared by people that have done it at a very high level. And, film work is an incredible tool for us. We spend a lot of time watching film. So learning from them, and then watching the way that we're applying some of the same stuff with different people, which brings a new energy to things as well. It is exciting, man. It's never easy to lose great players, but it's always, always fun to watch players step up and become what we've known that they could be the entire time. So,
Ava, as you've had conversations with some of their leaders on this team about some of the goals for this 2023-24 season, what have those conversations looked like, and what's going to be key for this team to try and accomplish those once again this year?
For sure. I think obviously we have conversations between the 3 of us as seniors, but obviously it's a group conversation that we have, before practice, in their locker room, in the training room type of things. We're all hungry. We're all competitive. We all want to win. And, the last few weeks we've been, going at each other in practice, and we're ready to start playing other competition. But we're all competitive athletes. And at the end of the day, winning's our goal. And I think we all have a common understanding of that. Whether that's, bad days in the gym, good days in the gym, whether we come out of it, tooth and nail in the gym, but we all are good friends outside of the court. We all have an understanding of what we want to accomplish. And I think that's what sets us apart, is that we all want the same thing.
And finally, Coach, wrapping things up with you, success can be measured in so many different ways and take different shapes throughout the course of a season. When you speak about success with your program, what is that message? What are you trying to get across, whether it's, on the floor, within that culture, within your locker room? How do you try to quantify success, and what will be key again to accomplishing that this year?
That's another good question, man. And it's hard to answer. I think for me, it's consistency. And that doesn't necessarily translate into performance, but it's intentional. The consistency is an intentional thing. We're very disciplined in the way that we prepare for all of the facets of coaching this program, and obviously playing in this program. And I think if you can create consistent habits, you should expect consistent results. And I think that's what's been the case for us. It's just a work product that comes from a lot of research, and a lot of love. I think that this is absolutely a labor of love here. And I think we also get that in return from the players, especially on hard days when they want to fight one another and they're exhausted and we're going one more time. And it's like, what are we doing? It's those moments where you really dig deep and feel what it means to push yourself to where you absolutely are getting better. And, I think that's going to be our goal moving forward. There'll never be a magic number of wins that we want to accomplish in a given year. The randomness of the NCAA tournament for the Division III level is never going to give us a chance to say definitively that we can go do this or go do that. We just have to get there and do the best that we can with the draw that we get. And, That's just the truth, man. That's how we operate. And it's exciting to be in this position right now, today, knowing that we get to play this weekend and, you know, kind of get this thing off and running.
Trinity University women's head basketball coach Cameron Hill, along with the leadership from senior Ava Limonciello. The Tigers will open up the 2023-24 campaign this Saturday, November 11th, when they take on UMHB. Coach Ava, thanks so much for your time today, and best of luck as you head into the year.
Thank you.
Thanks, Russell.